It's wonderful to be here. Ben's been bragging on the quality of his district and the great constituents he has and what a wonderful town you have here, and he's exactly right. So thank you for being so welcoming. Thanks for having a Kansan, KU Jayhawk, by the way, for those of you who follow that stuff. Thanks for having me out today, and I'm just here to share with you my observations as another freshman member of Congress and to tell you what an amazing job your Congressman Ben QUAYLE is doing for you in Washington, D.C. Washington is a complete mess right now, as many of you know. The national debt's out of control. The policies that Washington's been pursuing for years have hurt the economy. They've been pursuing big government policies as opposed to limited government, free enterprise solutions. And so whether you come from rural Kansas, I grew up on a farm, or whether you're from Arizona, you know that the heart and soul of this country lies in our individual merits and our work effort, and the free enterprise system lets everybody have a chance to succeed. And I will tell you, you have no better advocate in Washington, D.C. than this freshman member of Congress. He's tough, he's articulate, he presents well, he stands up for his community, and I'm here just to ask you to send him back to Washington because the country needs him. We need young, vocal advocates that understand the merits of this country and will stand up and fight for it on the floor in Washington, D.C. And so we're pleased to have him there, and thanks for sending him in the first place, and let's send him back. We need him there. The fight is just beginning, and I'm happy to be there with him. We're going to carry the flag next year, but I need you guys to get behind him and make sure that Phoenix and the whole area sends him back to Washington, D.C. again. And so without further ado, my friend and one of the bright shining stars in Washington, D.C., Ben QUAYLE. Congressman QUAYLE.
Thanks, Kevin, and thanks for coming out and helping out in the campaign. We've got a number of other sitting members who have been helping out both in D.C. and back home, making phone calls, and so it's been going great. I just want to update you, the most important part, coffee has arrived.
Oh, good.
So, if anybody, I will not be offended if you want to stand up and go get some coffee. But I just want to say thanks again to Kevin. He's one of the young members who's really going to be one of the future leaders of our country. I don't know how many people know about this, but in the House of Representatives, the Republicans have really had a youth movement. All the members that are 35 or younger are all Republicans. Almost all of the 40 and under are Republicans, just a few Democrats. And the average age is about a 10-year gap between Democrats and Republicans. Wow. Republicans being younger. So there's this huge youth movement. And Kevin and I and others are going to be the ones who are going to continue to carry that and expand that and show those that are coming out of college, those of the younger generation, that the conservative movement, conservative ideas aren't just relics of they're not relics of the past, they're the bridge to the future. And to show that America's prosperity will come from those ideas. And those ideas are going to bring us out of the doldrums that we're in right now. And that's why this election is so important. I do want to talk a little bit about redistricting, as I said earlier. District 6, about 2/3 my current district, about 1/3 my opponent Dave Schweikert's district. It's an unfortunate situation that we have in redistricting, but the campaign is going well, despite some of the news coming out of my opponent's camp. We are actually in great shape right now. All the numbers that we're looking at, all the internal numbers that we're looking at, we call out daily. That shows us that we're up right now. But it also shows us that we have a lot of work to do in the next 5 weeks in order to get this thing across the finish line. He's going to be working hard, so we all have to work even harder. This afternoon we're going around and knocking on, we have a big, huge neighborhood walk. My wife and daughter are going to help, so when you bring a 10-month-old, usually you get at least 5 to 10 votes. Just I've said it before, she sometimes charges appearance fees now since she's been appearing in our commercials. She's got an agent and probably is a little bit of a diva on her hands, but we're going to be out there knocking on, I think we're going to be in the Moon Valley area, and we're going to have people all over. Going into Scottsdale and to Fountain Hills, everywhere. I think we got close to 60 people who are coming in to help out today, and then we're going to do another walk next week and next Saturday as well. So we're hoping that this overcast stays that way. But we're going to continue to work hard, get our message out there, and to really show how the differences are and where the differences are. I've been leading in Washington, leading on conservative issues, on Fast and Furious, but I've also been leading by example. We have a big unfunded liability from the federal pension system, and instead of actually going along to get along, I've actually opted out of my federal pension, opted out of the congressional pension, and co-sponsored bills to get rid of congressional pensions so we can actually take care of the issues that we have with the federal pension system as well. Look at the private sector, they've been getting rid of their pensions. It's time for the public sector to do that as well. We don't need it, we have 401ks, and we'll be just fine, but we have to lead by example, and we need to continue to push that. There's other issues in terms of with the national defense, on taxes as well. I have the most conservative voting record within our delegation. I was ranked the #1 most conservative by National Journal. So that's what we need to continue to push out there, because hopefully we'll be able to keep the House, win the Senate, and win the White House. But then it's going to be up to the conservatives in the House of Representatives to keep Republicans conservative and not go to the wishy-washy way that they were in the first part of this decade.
Amen.
So that's going to be the job of us, and that's why we need strong leaders to continue to push the conference that way. Now, in terms of, I just want to give you a quick update and then open to questions. We had Napolitano in front of us again. I had her in Homeland Security. Let's just say that the fight is on between me and our former governor because she's completely and totally lied about what's going on. We have just recently, and the Senate had a hearing on Friday, or was it Thursday, where they had one of the ICE agents who was involved in the ICE union. And they were talking about what the new memo and the new direction that the president and Napolitano have taken on immigration. And they said it's a complete and total mess. That they have been told that they have to rely on the word of the person that they have been apprehended that they think is illegal if they believe that they fall within those criteria. They don't have to provide any documentation. If they say they have a GED, they let them go. If they say they're going to college, they let them go. This was all in testimony in front of the Senate. So everything that Napolitano said to me in both Judiciary and in Homeland was a complete and total fallacy, a complete and total lie. And I actually had staff go down to the ICE detention center here in Phoenix, and they actually said that if an illegal immigrant or a suspected illegal immigrant gets a DUI and they are brought over to ICE and they actually say, no, I am a legal citizen, they don't have to provide documentation, they let them go. That's what the directive from up on high, from DHS, is right now. So it's not them just saying, oh, well, if you have, you're talking about, giving them the sob stories of the dreamers and stuff like that. That's not what they're talking about. This is about actually having an amnesty program that's put in place by not actually enforcing the law. And it is driving CBP nuts, it's driving ICE agents nuts, but it's all coming from Napolitano right now and Obama. This was shocking to me as well. CBP, we got actually a leaked memo that says they are allowed to have discretion when they actually apprehend people at the border and just turn them back south. Now, Sheriff Deaver, I talked to him and he gave us anecdotal evidence of that. Just say, don't apprehend, don't process, just turn them back